Okay, look at this craziness. I, for all intents and purposes, own a 909, finally. After wanting one for probably around 30 years. Yeah, I could have bought one years and years and years ago. Um, I just could never justify, even back then when they were two, three, $4,000 each. I just couldn't justify the price because I'm not a professional. I'm just someone who likes to hang out in my basement and make some beats. So for me to be able to own a 909 after all these years is an absolute dream come true. I'm a very happy person. I've owned a number of Roland's products and drum machines. 808, 707, 727, 606, 626, 505. Probably something else I'm forgetting. I've always just wanted the 909 though. I got a 505 first. Thought it was cool but kind of weak, but still liked the idea. And that was in mid 90s, I guess. And then grabbed a 707 after that, which I really liked, especially the sliders. I liked so many things about it, the sequencer, the sound. I just always felt the kick was weak. And I thought, wow, if I could have a 707 with a 909 kick, that would just be the dream come true. But really, really what I wanted was a 909. And I have one. And I think it's a 909 and more. I'm still learning about it. The manual, the quick start manual it comes with doesn't really cover much. There's a more in-depth manual. I haven't really had a chance to look at it too much. I do know how to do sequencing and things like that. And while we're on the topic, the sequencing itself, 64 step, amazing. Perfect. Perfect. I'd love that you can make the sequence as long as that. Not that I always will, but I just like that ability. So let me turn it down a bit. The other thing about the sequencer, let me just turn that down a bit. Oops, wrong one. The other thing about the sequencer is, when it's in pattern mode, that is, anyway, or step, sorry, it shows you which one it's playing on. See how it changes? It tracks which step you're on. So when you're editing the steps, you can select which bar you want and go ahead and do that. I had a Electron machine drum and it was only, I think it was 16 step only, and I just found it so limiting. I just couldn't handle it. This sequencer reminds me so much of the Korg Electribes, which I'm a huge fan of. I will still have and always will have a Korg ER1, that's the drum machine, the red one, and the sampler, the ES1, that's the green OG Electribes. The sequencing on them is just so simple, so straightforward, so limited in some ways, but part of the charm. The swing on this is amazing. I'm not going to be able to really go too deep on this overall because, like I said, I haven't really learned it in and out. The buttons themselves feel amazing. I love these buttons. They're very stiff, robust, feels like a Commodore 64 key kind of. I like that. At first I thought, well, why didn't they make these similar buttons with a higher profile? And I think it's so that you don't accidentally hit them and stop the play. And I kind of do and kind of don't like these big squishy buttons. They're okay. They're all right. They feel a little squishy, a little bit unsure, but I mean, I think they were meant to be pounded. I'm not used to really being aggressive with equipment like that. I'm used to kind of babying it, unless it's an MPC pad or something like that. And maybe I should treat these as MPC pads in a way. Not that I'm going to hammer it, but I mean, give it a little more force than I usually do. Because for a discreet little push like that, a little poke, just enough to get it. It feels like you're not going to be able to trigger it correctly, even though you are. It just has a strange feeling. But maybe I should just get a little more aggressive on the buttons here. I don't know. Oops. The Midi implementation, it's pretty straightforward in terms of using something else as a controller or an external clock. So I've done that. I haven't really used this to try to control something else yet. I did try to use these trigger outs, which are 1/4 inch, by the way. And that's something I'll turn this around in a sec, or even turn the camera around. We'll look at the back inputs, which is another reason I was totally sold on buying this. So I was trying to trigger this from an output using the rim. and sending it into here, this neutron. But what I don't know is if I was doing it correctly in terms of the input on the neutron. And as far as I know, I don't have anything else that has a trigger like that to be able to try that. So what I would like to know is if I can use this to trigger that via MIDI. And I haven't tried yet, but maybe that's not a good choice anyway, because I can do it with so much more control with this. So maybe I don't even care about that. Maybe what I do care about is the build quality, which we can talk about now. And we'll get into the sound after that. The build quality is awesome. There's some really... Let me just get this out of the way. It's making noise. Sorry about that. There's some really questionable build quality decisions on this. Let me go to this side because it's better lit. So yeah, it looks cool. The side panels, right? Looks very nice. Corners are the most impacted and most damaged part of a drum machine or synth or something like that, of gear in general. So why on earth would they make an easy to chip or break corner like that? And it's plastic. It could be a highly, highly durable plastic that I don't even know how strong it is. Maybe it's, Mars ready strength, but I don't think it is. And probably there's going to be a lot of RD9s with cracked corners on these cheeks. Yeah, you can replace these cheeks with some aftermarket stuff, maybe some racing stripes or whatever silliness you want to get into. I do like the look. I like the color scheme. I like all of it. I like the lines on it, the overall design, the aesthetic. I like it. I just found that to be a little curious. I don't get that. The top, I don't know if I think it's plastic. It's probably robust enough. It's probably strong enough. The bottom is, let me flip it over here. Will it stay like that? No, gotta hold it. So here's the bottom. Metal, which is nice. It's a nice touch, Behringer, to make it sturdy like that. And all those inputs. They did it. Roland, you didn't listen. You just didn't listen, Roland. Make analog gear, your own gear that you have designs for. Maybe a few enhancements on them. And lots of individual outputs. But you just didn't listen, Roland. So Uli stepped up. And I bought this for 500 Canadian. And I'm a very, very happy person. Just for posterity's sake. I'm so happy with this. And I try not to collect anything. I really don't. I've had almost every MPC and I could have held on to it and collected it and hoarded it away like Gollum or something, but I'm just not a big fan of that. But I might actually buy an RD9 in a box and leave it in a box. And I got this from, while we're on the subject of boxes, I got this from Cosmo Music in Toronto. I live in Canada. And so it's $4.59 plus tax, free shipping. And I didn't ask them, but I was surprised and delighted that they had shipped this in the original Behringer box and another additional cardboard carton that was larger than the original box. And that way I get a pristine box to keep for resale later or for my own collection or for whatever reason I want to keep a box. Stop judging me. They protected the original box and I was very happy about that. So thank you, Cosmo Music. You're doing a great job. I watched their site for months waiting for this to come in. So very nice. Very happy. What else do we have to talk about here? The sound. That's pretty important, I would think. The sound is amazing. I don't know how else to say it. It's everything I wanted it to be. But it wasn't when I first opened it up and played it for the first few days. I found the kick to be extremely underwhelming, and I was very upset about that. And I was wondering what was wrong with me. Am I not tuning this thing correctly? Like, what the hell am I doing? Well, turns out, if you want the kick to make the thud that I was looking for, you can't send it out through the master. You have to, and this is just what I feel. I'm not saying this is in the manual or this is a rule, but what I found is I have to track out the kick individually. See, it says bass there. So yeah, I have to track that out individually. When I do, whoa, holy crap, so I send it into my Allen and Heath Mix Wizard 1. I think it's original. Great sound, by the way. Beautiful sound in it. Nice analog desk or mixer. And what a world of difference. So let me do a little, and of course it's not going to come through on the cell phone speakers, but just for just give you an idea. When you do something like track out the kick individually, once you plug that in, it will remove it from the mix. So there, it just went extra loud. But yeah, so when you track something out, it's not going to go through the master out. It just removes it from that master out mix. So yeah, now it's everything except the bass drum, the kick, and when I track it out individually, oh my god, it thuds. It's what I wanted. It's that boom, like that, just that, and it can go from mushy, commanding, like almost 808-ish, to just kick you in the chest, thumping mid with that sub kick as well. It's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So if you're gonna get one of these, or if you've gotten one of these and you're finding the kick to be underwhelming and you have a mixer, send that kick out individually. It makes a world of difference. A few things on this that are also very cool is the wave designer. I find it's very nice to put the kick through that. I don't think it works when you send it out individually like I did. So if we track out the kick individually, I think it doesn't, that this doesn't work, but I don't know that yet. Still learning. Maybe if you know that, put in the comments, save me having to look it up. And the filter, I'm still not 100% on how to make it work. Sometimes I can make it work, sometimes I can't. But I mean, those are all extras, and I'll get my head around this. I'm going to go deep on this. This is, this is going to be with me for the rest of my years. This is just it's a dream come true. It really is. So thank you, Behringer, for that. And it's a video that's turned into 12 minutes, and that's just how nerdy I am about drum machines, and especially one that I've wanted for almost 30 years. So I appreciate you watching this. The build quality is awesome. The sound's great. If you buy it from a reputable store, they're going to give you your money back if you don't care for it. And a 909 isn't for everyone, but it certainly is for me. So thank you. Have a great day. Go make some music. Love your family. See you later.